Okay, so what is e-commerce? That's the question of the day. So it's basically the buying and selling of goods online. Usually when people are talking about e-commerce, they're talking about the selling of goods online, from the seller to the consumer. But of course, it goes both ways. And we're already starting to see the introduction of things. It's like the future is happening right now. Like there's some really futuristic ways that people are shopping online, and it's pretty interesting. So we have IKEA, where they're incorporating augmented reality, where you can hold up a tablet and you can actually see pieces of furniture in your room digitally and how they would look before you purchase them. And of course, Amazon is experimenting with drone delivery services. So they want to, have drones, these robotic helicopters, fly to your house to deliver your packages. We've come a long way than, from a standard mailman. And of course, 3D printing. I think this is going to be a big one where we're going to start 3D printing more and more goods at home, as opposed to buying them and having them shipped to our house. All right, so what's the point? Why do we want to shop online? There's pros and cons to shopping online and shopping offline. So if you're shopping online, some of the big things, one of the big things is it's really easy to find something. Obviously, you just type it in, search it up. It's easy to find, especially if you're looking for a very particular item. Personalized experience. You can read reviews, which is nice, something you can't do when you're at a physical store unless you have a smartphone. And time-wise, you don't have to wait for, open business hours, and you don't have to travel. You can do it right from your home. Okay, this is all obvious stuff. Now, it's interesting that shopping physically actually has a lot of benefits that we don't necessarily, pay attention to. So obviously, it's beneficial to be able to physically observe what you're shopping. You want to physically hold something, especially when it's like clothing. You want to look and try on what you're going to buy. Something you can't do online, obviously. If you're shopping offline, you can avoid big data, big tech, which is good. So all of your information won't be out there. It's still going to be out there, but not as much if you're at a physical location, as opposed to clicking on something and then advertisers know what you're interested in and so on. I'm going to do a class on big data in a couple weeks. The instant gratification idea. This is something that Amazon really strives for. They really want this idea, and they don't have right now. If you buy something on Amazon, you have to wait at the very least, you have to wait a couple hours. But if you go to a physical store, you get it immediately. And you can support your local stores. And then there's what's called hybrid shopping. And this is where people are shopping physically, but they're checking the item online. If they can find a better price online, then they'll buy it there. There's some ethical concerns here, because, you can put stores out of business that way. I know that happened with American Terrain, which was in White Plains on Post Road. I don't know if you ever went there, but that was a really good store. And I remember the owner, when he was closing down, he was saying, yeah, it's people shopping online. They'd come and you'd help them, and he would help them try stuff on, and then they'd say, oh no, I'm just gonna buy this online. And so that's a tough thing. Where can you go? So many different places you can go, and there's so many different ways you can buy them. You can buy items obviously on your regular computer, but your smartphone, even on these smart assistants that we have now, like Echo and Google Home. You can order goods through these devices now. But many websites, obviously Amazon's one of the big ones. Amazon even has those sticks where you can push a button and it will order something. I wouldn't recommend that. I think that could get out of hand. I haven't tried it personally, but you can type in the chat if you have tried that, because I'd be interested to hear about it. But the the options that you have available, there's many. For electronics, a lot of these services here on this page that you're seeing right now are electronics focused, but not necessarily. You got Home Depot, lots of different options. what you want to do when you're looking at these different options is evaluate what you want to evaluate them based on certain features. Obviously, the prices you want to have good prices, and with that, you want to have good shipping prices and good shipping times. All right, so you don't want to be waiting weeks to get something that you order online. You can probably find a quicker option, depending on the object. And make sure there's a good return policy, or at least a return policy. That's important. Customer service is a great thing. Amazon's customer service, I gotta say, even though it's a big tech company and I'm against these big tech companies, their customer service is great. And so that's something you want to have. One of the best ways to evaluate a product is to see what users are saying. So a lot of times I'll go on a site like reddit.com and just go and search for posts, user posts on a particular website, and see what they say, and then you can get a real person talking, hypothetically a real person, but that's a good way to check word of mouth. In-store pickup. We're in this pandemic. This is something you're probably going to want to consider, and I know many people are considering, because there's been more wait times on this sort of thing. So you can order something online, but then go and pick it up in store. You save on shipping cost, and you save on walking around the store and finding it. So many different options for that. If you're looking for hardware, Home Depot is great. And even for groceries, there's options. So Walmart and ShopRite, I know, have this option. And I know that because my family's been using it. We've been using this during the pandemic, where also we have a newborn. So it helps a lot. You basically order your goods online, and then you go to the store and pick them up, and they'll bag them for you. Right now, it's really hard to find a slot. I'm up in Poughkeepsie, so it might be a little bit different in White Plains. It might be worse in White Plains, or the Westchester area, but it's something you want to look into, especially during the pandemic, where we're all trying to stay safe. I can't personally recommend any of the services in Westchester, but I would look online, like I said, see what people are saying. Yelp is a great website to get reviews. And then once you get the items, because we're in a pandemic, I put an article here, and like I said, you can click on these links. This is an article on how to properly cleanse your goods once you get them. A lot of things it's hard, and how do you cleanse an apple? I mean, you're not going to be spraying it with Lysol, so it's tough, but you can do the best you can, to try and avoid getting sick. But yeah, just sign of the times right there. If you're looking to gift items, there's lots of generators out here. These are two ones I use, around the holiday season, GiftGen and Gifts.com. You can type in the parameters of a person, and generally speaking, they'll give you a bunch of gift ideas. I've found a lot of good ideas, things you would have never thought of buying like as a gift. It's like, oh yeah, that is a good idea. And then if you can't think of something, there's always gift cards, and you can do that physically, of course, in a store. But there's a service called Gift Rocket, where you can purchase local, based on your area, your zip code, local gift cards online. So that's a good option. You can buy customized gifts, and you can get customized T-shirts, mugs, photos, all sorts of things. I like Snapfish for photos. But there's also Vistaprint, which is good. I made a nice mug with Vistaprint. With customized gifts, you have to give them time to actually create the item that you are asking for. So if you're buying a customized gift, if you're buying a customized item as a gift, you want to make sure you give yourself time, because it takes weeks. Even if you have the fast shipping, they still have to create the thing. So if you're buying a photo book, it takes them a week to make the photo book, and then they have to ship it. So just something you want to keep in mind. We all want deals. Historically speaking, Tuesday is the best day of the week to save online, save on shopping, save on items online. Now that's tomorrow. So if you're going to buy something, do it tomorrow. There's also sites where you can sign up and get a daily newsletter, or I guess it's a newsletter, but it's a daily email on the deals of the day. eBay and Amazon have this feature. When it comes to electronics, I have no issues with buying refurbished. I think that someone could buy an item and it has some kind of glitch. It could be a computer and there's a problem with the one of the feet on the bottom of it, and so they return it. The manufacturer can't sell it new, so they fix that foot, sell it refurbished at a very discounted price, and you're good to go. I buy so many things refurbished. I rarely have problems. Every once in a while, but generally speaking, go refurbished. Okay, moving along. Social media, you can find deals, Facebook, Instagram, that sort of thing. Your credit card might have rewards that you can use. Whole Foods is owned by Amazon. It's either Amazon or Jeff Bezos, but I believe it's Amazon, because if you use your Prime, if you have a Amazon Prime, and it might be the Amazon Prime card, you can get a deal. You can get deals at Whole Foods, so you want to keep that in mind. There's also sites that are specifically for finding deals online. You got Groupon, Woot, Retail Me Not, Slick Deals. I got all the links there. You can check these out. These are great for Groupon especially is great for gifts. You could buy someone lessons to karate if you wanted to. I mean, they have all kinds of things on Groupon, customized for the local area that you are in. There's also software you can purchase. Now, not purchase, software you can install. Now, I would beware of plugins like Honey or Camel. The latter is a price tracking plugin that you can install in your browser, and it will check. I believe it checks. No, you can follow a particular item. So if you find an item on Amazon, you can watch it and get an alert if there is a price change. And Honey will at checkout will check to see if there's any coupons that you can use. Problem with these plugins is big data. They are seeing, you're letting these third parties see all your purchasing habits, and you might be okay with that, but I'm not. So that's just something you want to think about. And like I said, I'm going to do a class on that in a couple weeks. One thing, before you buy anything online, do a quick Google search on the actual item. I did this with a snowblower, believe it or not. I was going to buy it off Amazon. I was going to buy it off Home Depot. But right before I clicked purchase, I said, let me just plug this into Google. And I found it on Amazon for hundreds of dollars less. And it's a solid machine. I still use it, still have it. And I saved hundreds of dollars just because I did a simple Google search of that particular item. So it's a good way to cross-reference. You can also buy directly from users on the internet. Obviously, there's going to be issues there. Amazon, eBay, Facebook, you can do it on now. So you can buy directly from your friends' network. And Facebook right now is looking into having an e-commerce, basically having not e-commerce, having a cryptocurrency. So they're looking at having their own, Facebook money. So that's going to be interesting. That's supposed to come out this year. And so that's going to be interesting with this marketplace that they have, and just in general in society, what's it going to be like when Facebook has its own currency? It's very interesting. And then Craigslist. Obviously, you got to worry about people on Craigslist. One thing that people do on Craigslist is actually search for the misspelling of the word, because you could find items that a seller posted that spelt wrong, and people missed because it was spelled wrong, but you would find because you're checking for those misspellings. So that's my tip of the day. On a lot of these sites, you got to be worried about a thing called dynamic pricing. And that's where if a company knows what you're buying and what you are interested in, they can actually and will jack up the price on the particular item. And I had this happen with a shirt I was interested in, and I had it in my cart, and Amazon knew it was in my cart. And so when I went to go purchase it days later, they actually jacked up the price, and we tested it on a different account and it had a lower price. So that's just something that is just horrible, but it's there. So you got to be aware of that. So my advice is don't leave things in your digital shopping cart. And if you can, try to use apps that aren't tracking. So Brave browser is a good one. DuckDuckGo is another. If you're doing a search on the internet, DuckDuckGo is a great way to privately search without letting these big tech companies know what you're looking for. And you can also shop online in incognito mode on your browser. That's another tip. Moving right along, security. No matter how you're paying, I would suggest, and this is my own opinion, using credit card, because you can always dispute a purchase. Just keep track of your credit card bill. You want to be checking, make sure you're not getting out any outrageous bills of things you didn't pay for. Don't all the usual cybersecurity stuff. Do not use your credit card over a public Wi-Fi. Make sure you trust the sites that you're using. And with online shopping, beware of porch pirates, especially if you're in a suburban, let's say an urban area, where people could steal a box that's in front of your living space that you haven't picked up yet. They're called porch pirates, and they do exist. You can get a security cam, or you can use something like Amazon Locker, which is basically a third party. Amazon, it's not really a third party because it's still Amazon. Amazon allows you to send it to a place that's close to your location, and hopefully that's close to your location, and you can go straight and pick it up there. In Westchester, I know there's a bunch of Amazon lockers, so you can do that. And most important of all, get a VPN if you don't have one. I did cybersecurity class. I put all of my tips here. I recommend private internet access, and like I said, you're gonna have access to this PDF, so all this information will be here. But basically, get Avast antivirus and private internet access, and you will be good to go. Make sure you trust the electronics manufacturers you're purchasing from, because now there's supply chain hacks where you can actually get malicious code put in physical products. So if you buy a cheap charging wire and you think you got a good deal, well, the hidden cost is that it's filled with malicious code, and you're going to get your information stolen potentially. So just make sure that you trust the sources that you're buying from. Obviously, I couldn't do this for all products, but I'm a tech guy, so I put the tech products that the tech companies that I trust. All right, I put a bunch of miscellaneous tips here. I said most of them as I was talking, but you'll have all that. And now, does anyone have any questions, concerns, or just feel like chatting? What do you got? Again, I got the Q&A, and you can put questions in there, or you can just talk. You should be able to unmute yourself if you'd like. And now's the time to do it if you'd like to. Okay, so let's just keep moving. So a lot of resources on our website, whiteplainslibrary.org. And if you're actually interested in selling things online and starting your own business, there are resources on lynda.com that you can actually learn how to do that. So, and yeah, so I want you to have a good day. Again, I have the link to download the PDF right here, and I will also email it out, but I'll put it in the chat again. And I want to thank everyone for coming. And yeah, unless you have anything else, I'm going to end this in a second here. So thanks for coming.